What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Fan Awakens. I'm your host, Eli, and this is the Celebration Cantina, kicking off 2023 Europe celebration. I was supposed to be there. Things didn't work out, but it was a blessing in disguise because I get to talk about it here. And tomorrow I will be doing more, hopefully with my guy Parade Rainer, and possibly more. So we may have some other friends popping in, but we'll see what happens there. But this celebration has been nuts. It's crazy that I've gone to the last two and I was supposed to go to this one, didn't happen, and of course this one they had to pop off. When you look at most of the previous celebrations, even the one back dating back to the last London celebration, there wasn't a ton of news. um we got some sneak peeks and things, but we really didn't get movie announcements. Obviously we haven't had a Star Wars film since December 2019. And they just decided finally to drop it all, which is great. I am a bit trepidatious because we've heard. I mean, I can't even tell you how many movies have been announced and none actually came to fruition. Seemingly, we had the Benioff and Weiss trilogy, Ryan Johnson movies, Kevin Feige movies. We had the Patty Jenkins movie, and there's plenty more than that. The Taika Waititi movie, and it just goes on and on and on. And obviously, none of those ended up coming out. Who knows if they will in the future? But they did give us a bit of a rough slate. They gave us kind of a timeline to show what they're working within, and I think that there's just so much to go through. I'm not going to get into everything that they showed at Celebration because tomorrow, me and my guy Parade are going to do a deep dive into that. Um, but this was just, I had to get on here and talk about it because I live out in California, and so when they started the panels, it was about 4 a.m. I want to say 4 a.m. And I was like, man, nothing is gonna keep me from staying awake and following this. So I looked like Wade from Kim Possible. I had like three screens up, my laptop, my phone. I had like multiple tabs I was following. I was just like strung out trying to follow every little piece of information for Celebration. Um, and I'm following along on Twitter and different things through the panel. I'm like, man, it's been like an hour. Usually these panels are only about an hour, and we haven't gotten anything. And as they closed with all the shows, and we will talk about the shows later, but even Molly Damon from Star Wars Explained tweeted that, well, no movie news this time, And I saw that they were talking about Indiana Jones. Like, okay, that's still cool, but not exactly what I was super excited for. And then all of a sudden I started to see that Daisy Ridley's trending, and that's when kind of everything started coming out. And I lost it. I was so happy. I think that of the three projects they announced, um, who knows which one's coming first? They didn't give us release dates or anything like that, which I think is smart just because of the past and how they've constantly announced these things. Even with Patty Jenkins' movie, they had that whole like promo video of her talking about her upbringing and how she was influenced into wanting to do this film. And obviously, that thing is on the back burner. Um, but I decided to wear my Star Wars is for Everyone shirt today, specifically for this video, because I think that the three movies that they announced are pretty spread out as far as timeline. Obviously, one more than the other two. Um, but I think that they're catering to a lot of different audiences. I know that everybody doesn't love the sequels. I will die for Episode 7. I've said that over and over, and I will say that till I perish. Episode 7 is something I hold near and dear to my heart. I love that movie. Episode 8, I don't know. I'm sort of indifferent. I'll say that. Um, there are things I really like. There's things I really don't. Same thing with Episode 9. There's some moments in Episode 9 that make me cry, and there's some that make me want to just never watch it again. But I keep watching it because I love Star Wars, and there's enough in there. With that being said, um, as a Ray apologist, not apologist, a Ray fan, I'm a big fan of Daisy Ridley. I think that Daisy Ridley and John Boyega as a duo is they're lightning in a bottle. I love them. I think that their pairing in The Force Awakens is what makes it so special for me. Obviously, in the subsequent films after, they weren't as big of a thing. They were hell bent on keeping them separated, which baffles me. Um, but to see the Daisy Ridley's coming back warms my heart. I think that she deserves to come back if she wants to. I thought that she was stellar as far as like an acting standpoint in the movies. Showed a lot of range and motion. And say what you want about the movies, but I think even the people who are super critical, for the most part, even the people that are real toxic, usually they'll admit that it was like they didn't like the writing or they didn't like the story or lack thereof, which is fine. I understand. But I think this is great. 15 years after the Rise of Skywalker, um, obviously this movie, I believe they didn't say it explicitly, but I know Damon Lindelof, who did the Watchmen series, which is fantastic on HBO. I recommend watching to anybody, even if you don't know the source material. It's just a fantastic show. He was doing a movie, and there was all these rumors that Daisy Ridley might be in it, and it was going to be after Episode 9. And then he left recently, and Stephen Knight, I believe that's who it is, Stephen Knight, jumped on board in his place, I believe, as a writer slash producer, which is super exciting. He is from Peaky Blinders. Now, I hope that that's true because the director is going to be Charmin Obaid Chinoy, who is a two-time Oscar winner, both for documentary, one for short form documentary, I believe. But if those two are working together, I'm super intrigued. I think that she has a lot of talent. She directed two episodes of Miss Marvel, and oddly enough, I release every year, usually in December, January. I release a list online of my favorite, movies and shows of the year, and I left out Peaky Blinders and Miss Marvel, and I did not forgive myself for that. So them coming together for a Ray movie almost makes it. I don't know. It almost comes full circle. It's like it's meant to be. So I'm really hoping that they are working together on that, and I'm super pumped. But we have more news, obviously, in the movie sphere. James Mangold of Logan fame, of Indiana Jones 5 fame, is going to be helming this Dawn of the Jedi film. Seemingly the original Jedi, who was the first Jedi, who discovered the Force. I'm sure we'll see the conception of the Sith and discovery of the dark side all kind of put together in this movie. I think that it's awesome because it gives us thousands of years to play with as far as sequel potential and exploring the galaxy and that sort of thing, seeing how um, the things generally evolved from from the very beginning, the caveman point. I think is great. I think that it's going to be a bit of a struggle to figure out how do you like manage the technology being thousands of years before, uh Star Wars is Star Wars. I think you're always going to have ships. I don't think we're going to see him like driving a Tesla or a Ford Focus or anything like that, but I'm super excited. James Mangold, he doesn't miss for me. 310 to Yuma, he's got like he's done such a wide array of movies that Star Wars just makes sense. He has a relationship with Lucasfilm. I think he's fantastic, and who knows? Maybe this is finally our time to get Christian Bale in a Star Wars movie because I believe he's worked with him at least twice. Their working relationship, I could be wrong, but I think I remember hearing Christian Bale wanted to be in a Star Wars movie. Hopefully that's still the case. I'm sure he likes money, and I'm sure they'd pay him. So I'm super into that. I'm super into that idea. I also saw on the timeline they put on display at the panel. Seems like that logo is like the same general logo that was in on Octo 2 and Luke's like temple he had, or I guess the original Jedi temple, which is cool. I bet we'll revisit Octo 2 and probably see it in a very different state, which is kind of exciting. Connecting these pieces, and maybe it'll lend to giving some more to the sequels and things like that in an indirect way. Um, so super pumped, and then of course the third movie, the Filoni verse movie. Dave Filoni finally getting his big shot. I know he kind of runs a lot of things. He has his hands in a lot of different bowls over there. But they're making this Ahsoka verse movie, Mandoverse movie, whatever you want to call it. It's gonna take place between episode 6 and 7. It's gonna blend all these different characters together. It's basically gonna be like the Rebel Ahsoka Mando smorgasbord movie, said to culminate in an epic war. Thrawn, I'm sure, is going to be the main fold there. But it's exciting, Dave Filoni, he's been there for a minute. I know a lot of people have been praising him for years, rightfully so. I think that this is an opportunity that he definitely deserves. I'm sure they'll get a big name producer, not producer, but composer to do the score for that film. But it would be awesome if like Kevin Kiner did it. I think that'd be a nice, kind of give him his moment there too. But Filoni, I think he deserves it. I think that this movie's probably going to be, in a way, a movie by committee, and I think usually with movies that's a bad thing. You know, too many hands in the pot, too many cooks in the kitchen. But with this, I think that they've seemed to make this network of collaborators so good. In the Mandoverse, however you feel about it, I know that this season has had its ups and downs, but I still hold faith because Bad Batch, I was kind of iffy on this second season, and it ended really strong. I know a lot of people got to see the next episode of Mandalorian at Celebration. I heard it's awesome. Um, so I'm holding out hope. But I'm really excited for Dave. I think that yeah, he just deserves a shot. I wouldn't be surprised if it's some big War for Mandalore kind of situation. We'll have to figure out who's where. Obviously, we got an Ahsoka trailer, a lot going on in that. I think that they may be delving into time travel, which makes me like, I don't know, makes me a little nervous. But as far as the look of the trailer, looks great. Rosario Dawson looks great in the costume. I think they're taking a step up as far as like the visuals for the most part. Um, but yeah, just a great day for movie fans. Hopefully, uh, willing that these these movies actually get made. Um, I can't avoid getting overexcited just because I've been waiting for them to announce some sort of movie and for it to feel real for a long time. And the way they announce these, I don't know, it just feels like it holds more weight for me than the other ones. That a lot of times those movies that I mentioned at the beginning of the video are like they'll be like leaks, Hollywood Reporter, so and so reports that apparently Kevin Feige is working on a movie, or these different things. It's hard to remember as the time goes on because we've heard so many reports. It's hard to remember which ones, if any, were like official releases. Other than the Taika one, I remember that one was like an official Lucasfilm release, press release or something. They announced it through their own channels, which is okay. But I think this is great. I think we got a good foothold here. Obviously, they showed a Ahsoka trailer, which is awesome. We got an Indiana Jones trailer, which looks promising. James Mangold hasn't failed me, and I trust that to continue. Um, what else did we get? They showed. I know they showed more Mandalorian stuff. We're in the thick of that, so I'm not really tripping over that. We're gonna, a couple more days, we'll have another episode. We'll see what they saw. Um, there was more. I know we saw the live action like Ghost Crew. We saw Hera. We saw young Chopper, Sabine. So we'll see. Time will tell. But I just wanted to kind of hop on here, check in, kind of express what I'm excited for. I would say as overall excitement goes, it's so hard. It's so hard to split these. If I had to rank them, and I know my guy Pareto would want me to rank them in terms of excitement or some sort. He always puts me on the spot like that, so I'm gonna put myself on the spot here. Shoot me. I think the sequel movie is the one I'm most excited for, just because like those movies did so much for me. Force Awakens. I mean, half of this corner is some sort of Force Awakens reference. It's all over this place. This whole apartment is just steeped in the Force Awakens. Um, so I'm gonna say the sequel movie is the one I'm most excited for. Second place, probably gonna say the James Mangold one, and third Mandoverse. With Mangold, he's describing it as an epic. He's talking about it being inspired by like the Ten Commandments, Ben Hur, um, like super epic grand movies that uh I mean if it lands, and I think it will, just because I trust the guy, and you never know. But yeah, I feel like that one's gonna be like the 3 hour, who knows, 2 hour 45 minute Blade Runner 2049 of Star Wars. Uh, and I'm here for it. So hopefully it's not just Tatooine, Tatooine, Tatooine. But I think, one last thing, which we will talk about tomorrow, the Acolyte. They didn't officially release it, but of course, people leaked it. The footage looks awesome. Interviews with the cast seems great. Jonas Suetamo back as a Jedi Master Wookiee. And the exciting thing with the Acolyte is it feels like it's getting me back on the wagon as far as like wanting to read the material. I haven't kept up with the High Republic stuff, but I think I'm gonna have to because of these announcements. It's been a while since an announcement made me want to read the material, feeling like there was some sort of connection that was gonna matter. I don't know if it's gonna matter, but it motivates me enough to do it. Um, but we still got 3 more days of celebration, lots of announcements, lots of news, lots of interviews. I can't wait for it, and this just gets me so excited. I'm already saving up for 2025. Um, but I'd love to hear from you guys who are in attendance. How's celebration going? What's been the highest point? Has there been any surprises? Anything cool on the floor? And those watching at home, what has been your favorite part of following along for the journey? Um, and yeah, I just want to say thank you guys. I feel like recording this video is a full circle moment for myself because I kind of started this channel. I had videos before, but this channel really kicked off with Celebration last year. Met a couple really good friends who I'm pretty close with, and hopefully many more. So feel free to reach out. I will be here all weekend long making videos and updates. I'm pretty active on my Instagram. There is a Discord for the Fan Awakens. It's pretty much dead right now, but I'll put the link for that in the description. But again, thank you for watching, guys. If you like the content, if you want to support, hit that subscribe button. It goes a long way. Helps me know that I'm doing something that people want to see. And if not, that's okay too. But again, thank you, thank you, thank you. May the force be with you all. Star Wars is for everybody. And let me know in the comments which of these 3 movies are you most excited for. And I'll see you guys next time. Appreciate it. Peace.